guru in a world of fake gurus. Always happy to take that challenge too if anybody wants to test me on that. Anyways, welcome new students that got in this week, and really excited for the new students. A lot of listen. If you're out there, you got 50,000 to $1 million, and you're not investing in real estate, you're falling behind. I promise you that. I've been investing for 43 years, and there's just nothing like it. And if you stick around on this channel, you'll learn more about that sort of thing. So today we're gonna, we can just talk about anything. I was just kind of going with an open chat today. A couple things. I'm actually looking at. I used to fly quite a bit. I never got my pilot's license, but I used to rent planes with a buddy of mine out of Bud Whalen's in Van Nuys, California, and that was a long time ago. And then I kind of had the bug here again more recently. I got a buddy that also has a plane, and then my son's actually starting to get interested too. And I actually went back and went through the physical to get my pilot's license about like 2 years ago. But unfortunately, I couldn't find a an aviation school that wasn't freaked out about the clot shot, and so as a result, I couldn't. I wanted to just go ahead and learn in Cessnas. I've flown Cessnas and oh God, what are they? It's a low wing plane. I can't even think of it off the top of my head, but that's kind of what I was going to probably learn to fly in again. Was I could get a Cessna 179 or a 206. I like those planes. I used to fly with Wayne Yulberg. He owns he's dead now, but he owned Avgas. Big, really great entrepreneur. So I've been looking at that again. Then I saw Meet Kevin, who I was wondering, I always thought Kevin kind of, he got a jet, but he didn't have his pilot's license, so he's got to employ a pilot. I don't think that plane would require a co-pilot. I think it's small enough you don't need a co-pilot. But now Kevin just got his pilot's license, which congratulations, Kevin. That's awesome. Yeah, it's the a plane is great. Good to see you in here, Russ. Yeah, planes are wonderful. Yeah, you're pretty young still, and you got a young family. It's probably the reason I pushed off not flying for the last 30 years is because I had kids. And actually, my friend in Lancaster, California, before I moved to Texas, he had a beautiful a Mooney airplane. If you don't know a Mooney airplane, it's a fantastic aircraft. It's got like a solid strut, very, very strong plane. It's a fast plane too, but a beautiful plane. And he had one of those, and he had just put like 60. And this is back in the 80s, right? Like in like 88, 89, and he just put $60,000 worth of avionics in that plane. And he said, Tom, I'll sell you this thing. He really liked me. He was a nice guy. And he said, I'll sell it to you for 60 grand. He's going to sell me the plane for what he just spent on the avionics. But why? Because he already had a Cessna 206, and he had a brand new Mooney on order that was coming in. But I was in the transition. I was actually moving to Texas at the time, and I thought, yeah, I can't do it. But I would, if I was hung around, I would. Yeah, the Cirrus has a parachute, which is interesting for sure. And actually, so Kevin actually just got his pilot's license, and it was a Cirrus that he flew in this episode. I don't know what he got, what he got qualified in. But yeah, planes are just such a fantastic luxury. Hey, good to see AJM from St. Clair Shores. Good to have you in here. And we can talk about anything. Russ is in the class here, by the way, and I actually, Russ, you can call me on my cell if you want, if we get talking. But anybody got any, real estate questions, just fire away. It's just kind of open chat. I've been looking at, kind of just playing more, and I think really seriously thinking about getting an airplane. I want to get my license first. I want to get through that. I got to hopefully find a school nearby that hopefully they're over this hoax, because I could not get. I had to have a shot. I had to have the Rona shot, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't train. Everybody's scared to death over this bullshit. And so now we've all been screwed so badly over this stupid hoax. But now it delayed my getting my pilot's license now on top of it all. So I'm not happy about that either. But yeah, we we look at airplanes. Actually, I recently was looking at coffee makers, and I can't remember if it's a Kohler or a Frigidaire. I was actually really impressed. Really makes good coffee. It does a great job, and it's kind of a sleeper among coffee makers. And I was going to actually, maybe I'll pull that up and find that too. But I don't know. I'm really, really excited about the new year, 2025. And I've got a student to be, not a student yet, but this young gal called in, and I had a call with her, and before you know it, she had a deal. And I'm looking at that thing, and I'm saying, you got to get this thing under contract. So I've been helping her get her thing figured out, and it's going to be quite a success story. But she's not even in the class yet, and I think she's going to make $500,000 on this thing. So I'm very excited for her, and just be a really good fit in the class. I'll tell you, Rush, this gal would be great. So looking forward to her coming in as well, and already has a couple of fourplexes, and now going to have a nice commercial / residential property, which I think is really fantastic in a downtown area. Hey, if you just got here, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Helps the channel, and it needs help. I'm not the best podcaster in the world, but what I do talk about is real, and the experience is real, and a lot of real estate in my history. If you just got here, I teach people how to buy and sell property the way I've been doing it for the last 4.5 decades. It's been a lot of fun. There's nothing like it, and many millionaires in my class, and new millionaires. That's what's most exciting. Those people that get in and all of a sudden, man, they got more money in their hands than they've ever had in their lives, and it's a real thing, and I can prove it. And you can go to flipanythingusa.com, which is where I'm taking you right now, and just look at all these testimonials. Compare these testimonials to all the other real fake gurus you want to look at: Pace Morby, Chris Crone, Grant Cardone, Jerry Norton, any of these guys. Listen, too much talk and no proof of concept from these guys that I've seen. And so I love comparison, and I urge you, if you're on the fence looking for mentorship, and you've been considering any of those people I just mentioned, please compare student success, compare experience, compare success of the mentor. I'd love to be at Mentry. I'd love to help you make your money. Get your foot in, because it's just so much better and so much easier than you probably realize. But anyways, let's look at airplanes here a little bit. So Kevin here, he just did a video. This is Meet Kevin's first flight. Okay, pilot debrief. Okay, I didn't even realize that. I guess maybe he's not a solo flight, so I don't know. Let's just go back in here a little bit. So Kevin here, let's see what he says here. I'm just going to start it somewhere here in this spot. But let's see. But they are flying the Cirrus, and it has a parachute. Let's go ahead and just take a look at their pre-flight checkout here. And let's watch.
Thank you. Hey everybody, who are you and where are you from?
All right, so my name is Chris Way. I live here in Las Vegas, work for All in Aviation. I'm doing a second career. I'm a certified flight instructor, so we're going to get Kevin flying here.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
That's awesome. Thank you. And what is this in front of us?
Okay, so this thing right there, this is the parachute that gets deployed should we need to come down safely.
Yeah, look at the size of that chute.
Engine failure.
You can see a video
problem,
of a Cirrus.
That's going to bring it safely.
Parachuting.
It's bigger. It's almost as big as the hangar.
The entire plane floats down, right? So it's not like we wear parachutes on our back. The parachute brings the whole plane down.
Wow. That is a huge, wow.
So funny thing, I'll tell you, I won't say who it is, but and he's gone now. He's actually passed away. But it was a buddy of mine that was flying, and before he had his pilot's license, he was flying. He was flying without a pilot's license, and he went up flying around, and he had his engine blow out, and blew oil all over the windshield of his plane, and he actually had to crack the window, look out. And it was so lucky. He ended up landing, this is in California, but he ended up landing in the Magic Mountain parking lot in Valencia. And it just happened to be they were closed. They were closed that day, and, they have a massive parking lot. Anyways, he was a businessman. He had a lot of manpower. And so he landed that plane, got his guys over there, and they probably took the wings off the thing, or I don't know what, but they got it out of there quick. And, anyhow, that was like 30 plus years ago. So kind of funny how things happen. Let's keep watching a little more here.
Absolutely amazing, and that must be the pre-shoot right there. That is so cool. That all that compresses into that. Look at this. This is so cool. And I guess this gets like rocket propelled out. That's it. Parachute repack packed into that. Holy smokes, that's really cool. And I have to say, I've never seen a gas truck this size.
It's like a Bowser.
A little Bowser.
Right. So if we need to, fuel them up full, we will.
Yeah, it's funny. So my buddy Wayne actually started, I believe it was Avgas, and so he was the first one that created these where you could no employee gas stations where you could go in and just with a card you could buy gas. Petrol Lock in Lancaster, California, where he started, and then he expanded that into Avgas, and so he would call me sometimes, say, hey, I'm flying to Arizona or whatever, and so I'd say, yeah, I got nothing better going, and so I'd run over, meet him at the airport, and we'd jump in either his Mooney or his 206, and fly to one of these airports, and he'd let me fly his plane, and I had flown quite a bit before I met him too, but it's a blast. I'll tell you, just the freedom, and let me tell you, there's all kinds of forestry landing strips. Like if you're in California, there's Kevin, you have to look into that, you get your plane. There's all kinds of forestry has little landing strips on top of mountains in different beautiful places all over California. So with a small airplane, you can get in there, and you can, with the right plane, you can get in there and land and see areas that you've never seen before. And so it's really, really, it's just freedom like nothing else. And, if you can afford the hobby, and that's why I say that when Kevin got his jet, I thought Kevin, kind of a waste, because he wasn't a pilot and he's got the jet, and whether he can justify that or not, I don't know, but it doesn't matter. He's got enough money, he can justify it how he wants. But I thought, man, you could be flying the shit out of that thing yourself and writing it off. So I'm glad he got his pilot's license, and now he can really enjoy not just having a plane, but flying a plane, because it's really is an awesome thing. The freedom is just like nothing else. What else we got here? Bitcoin John. I hope Bitcoin's treating you well. I really, I'm not a fan, but I hope you're doing well with it. And I've never invested in it, by the way. But I'm kind of a like Munger and Buffett, kind of a just don't see it, man. But although it was interesting, who's the guy that pushes Bitcoin so much? Micro Systems. His name's Michael something. Anybody know him? You probably do, John. Who am I talking about? Anyways, so let's watch a little more Kevin here, and I'm going to bounce around. And anybody wants to take us into another area, we can do that too.
We'll bring the fuel truck around from the airport, but this way we just have 50 gallons where we can top it off essentially.
So what are we about to do?
So we're about to do, I believe this is called the pre-flight checklist. Checklists are very important in aviation. But honestly, you can apply checklists to your life too. Just, did I do everything in the morning? Did I get my car checked out for the day? Did I clean it at night? Did I pick up my clothing at night? I find having little checklists just throughout life really useful. So aviation really teaches that.
A checklist with an airplane is super important. Let me tell you. I've over my lifetime, I've seen a number of people get killed. Actually, people that I knew, carelessly. There was one guy that he was kind of a pile of shit, to be honest. I didn't like the guy, and he, kind of a contractor that did a lot of base work, but he was a real prick. But anyways, and me and him had an argument. I was a young kid. He was probably in his 40s. I was in my 20s, and not long after that, come to find out, he, impatiently was trying to fly out of somewhere, out of Vegas actually. And there was ice warnings, and he had a young couple with him, and he ignored the warnings, took him up, iced up, smashed, killed himself, and a really, really nice couple. It really, really is a shame. But you can't ignore the weather. JFK, or was it was Junior, right? Remember Junior? He got himself killed, and his beautiful wife, and her sister. And it's just stupid, just stupid. Shouldn't have been flying. You get into cloudy, clouds and stuff. You got to be you got to be able to fly by instruments, right? And he could not do that, and he subsequently got himself killed. It was terrible. But so Kevin got his license, and that's a beautiful plane. I think that's about $1.1 million for that plane. I don't know. I'm looking at planes. I don't want to spend $1 million, but I think I'd like to spend about maybe. And I like to spend as little as possible, right? But we'll see. Maybe there'll be some deals on planes coming up now too. But let's keep watching.
All right.
Did probe, so now left fuselage.
Right. So we've already looked inside, checked our circuit breakers, make sure those are all good.
So now we're on antenna and wing fuselage fairing.
Exactly. So here, this is the fuselage. This is the wing. This is the fairing between the two. So it's looking for any cracks, any separation.
So let's fast forward through some of this.
Oh, interesting. So if you have a jet and it's blue, don't fly.
Exactly. Okay. Or if you have this one and it's clear,
don't fly.
Same problem.
Okay, yeah.
Usually it smells the kerosene, right? It smells like it's diesel, essentially.
But yeah, they say the sea is unforgiving.
All right, good. We're stabilized.
The air
Okay,
is
so
just
let's
as
go ahead
unforgiving.
and check the rest
I
of
had
those. What's
a guy knew that, nice guy, big participant in his church, and his dad was so heartbroken. I remember at the time, he was about 30 years old, been through school, college, and was starting to work with his dad. And they went to some church retreat, and him and his buddy come in a plane, and they buzz the church, right? And then everybody comes out, oh, good, they're here. And then they come back to see him, maybe come buzz again. Well, they came back, and they buzzed the church again and pulled up and stalled and then came down, crashed right in front of the whole church. Everybody they just got to see. And it's a horrible thing, just a horrible thing. And how distraught the father was, of course, was really terrible. But, you really, you can't play around. You got to really be on your game. And I appreciate what Kevin's saying. It's like there's one point I saw him. He was kind of asking himself, "Well, really, should I be doing this or not?" He was, because he understands how great the risks are. Your mind can wander in a lot of places, but when you're flying, you got to pay attention. You got to pay attention. It's got to just be really second nature to everything you do. To be so, But anyways, I'm sure Kevin will do a fine job.
What's your minimum deploy on the parachute?
As far as altitude?
Yeah.
600 feet above the ground.
So I need to be 3+.
Yeah, exactly. So 3,100 feet is what we say.
Okay. Oil pressure. You mentioned we already checked that, eh?
Yep.
Where oil is PSI.
This is the temperature. Yep.
Okay.
Exact brakes are working. All right. So you're steering. So bottom of the pedal with your foot. So push left with
it's
your
so
left foot.
impressive, the sound quality now too. There's so much the great noise cancellation, everything in the headsets. When I was flying 30 years ago, it's just loud as shit. You're yelling at each other up there to talk. But anyways, it's pretty cool.
The brake.
Yep.
Because of the differential brakes.
Exactly.
And now I'm going to get ready to go right.
And as you go faster, you can do it just with the rudder, not without the brakes.
Oh, right. I could just use my rudder right
Any
now.
slam with the joystick.
You need enough airflow over it for it to work. So if you find you're like pushing it or not turning, then you have to come up and tap the brake.
Okay. And that's what you just did.
Exactly.
Okay. Do you want to do it or do you want me to do it?
I want you to. I just didn't want to run to the curb.
No, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, okay, I'm going to hit brake here a little just to turn. Or should I be ruddering at this point?
Yeah, just I want you to get a feel for it.
Yeah, that's
So I'll keep you, I'll intervene if we're in any danger, but otherwise I'm going to let you kind of figure it out. Return, we do taxiways, runway.
Skyhawk 32 kilo. I'm not talking to the pits. He's about your 1 o'clock.
I'm going to speed this up. See if they get him in there.
1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, full power. Okay, look at my engine gauges here. Make sure everything's in the green. Looking good.
Runway.
Make sure your airspeed's alive. It's going up. Feel a good acceleration.
It's funny. So
77.
Kevin here, I think he's in
Is the
Henderson,
takeoff?
Nevada.
Let's see. Actually, but just about 72 here at our weight. So we'll rotate now. Just kind of gentle back pressure.
Which really, from where he's at, where he lives in California, all the way to Henderson, just flying over nothing but desert. Plenty of safe places to land if you did have trouble, to be honest. We used to get up in the air in Van Nuys, and then we would actually half follow the highway to Vegas, because that's where we were actually going to Lake Mead. Back when I was a kid, me and my buddy, we'd rent planes out of there, fly to Lake Mead, and in that area, and near Vegas, and it was really a blast. But
Here we come off the ground.
and look at airborne.
Now this map here is going to tell us what terrain's higher than us. So we're going to kind of go up this little valley, and we'll climb up here about 96 knots or so. Sorry for the turbulence.
All good. It's Vegas.
Yeah.
You guys get a lot of that out here.
It's usually not bad this time of year. Okay, all right, you want to apply?
Yeah.
All right, your controls.
Okay, my control.
Okay, so we're just going to kind of keep this heading. You see the lowest part of that mountain over there?
What heading? 168?
So we're going to go about 150, but just don't focus on this. Just focus on the eyes outside.
Okay.
We're going to pitch back a little.
So I assume Kevin's flying with a left-hand joystick. I'm really not familiar with this aircraft. But, hey, Anderson Lynn. Hey, good to see you in here, buddy. We're taking a look. I'm actually thinking about I've been trying to get my pilot's license, I've been trying to get back into school, but they refused anybody that didn't get the shot, the clot shot, I call it. But anyway, it looks like he's flying with a left-hand joystick, and let's see.
A little bit to climb a little faster.
And you want me to pull back, or are you doing that?
No, you can do it. You're fine.
I'm going to pull back a little.
Just gentle. It's like it's
wow,
like pressure.
It's soft.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very good. All right, keep your hand on the power.
Okay. I've got 800, 900 verticals. Okay.
Very good.
What do you?
Before we keep going, I just want to say thank you for bearing with me. Over the past few years, it's been a lot of adapting and really growing, more importantly. Growing as a person, an entrepreneur, and really as somebody that recognizes where they aren't the best they can be, or where they're making mistakes. And then we change. And so thank you for being on that journey with me. I'm really happy to be able to take this flight here, and I can't wait to show you the flight. This is a magical feeling. I do want to just shout out Paul's Training Center over off of the Henderson Airport. This is a beautiful facility, beautiful flight simulator.
Yeah, I got to say, it's been really interesting because really we've been watching Kevin grow up, right? I mean, he's like probably 30, 31 or something now, and he's not that old. And you can already see he's just physically, he's changed so much. He's not that, he's got, I don't know, he's got like 7 kids or 6 kids or something too. So anyways, congrats, Kevin, on all your success and your family, and now your pilot's license. That's really, really fantastic.
Simulator, beautiful educational classrooms, and they're remodeling. It already looks remodeled, and they're remodeling more. Shout out to All In Aviation in Henderson for hooking up this.
You want to be about your airspeed, what you want to focus on. So 100 knots is fine here. So just like a boat, as you go over the water and waves, we're going through a fluid, so that's why we're bouncing around a little bit.
Okay.
It should smooth out pretty good for us.
What do I want my vertical rate of climb to be?
So I was focused on airspeed instead of the vertical rate. So where this Y is, 96 knots, so I give you the best climb rate.
Okay, and you want me to stay at about 96?
Yeah.
So if I'm over, I can pull back a little.
Yeah, and you're fine. You don't.
Yeah, so, when I was flying, I was taking, I was in flight school, 35 years ago, something like that. And I got spooked by my trainer. I had a young instructor, right? And the tower, we were flying basically around the airport, going a beam, we call it a beam, and coming down doing touch and goes. And I was listening, and I heard the tower told us that somebody was coming in, and they're coming in to land, and we're coming, and they said, yeah, they're 3 miles out. Well, I dipped the nose a little bit because I wanted to sight him. And he goes, what are you doing? I said, I want to see him. He says, he's way out there. And I'm going, no, he's 3 miles. And anyways, I'm arguing with the instructor a little bit. And so we're just taking off, right? And the way this goes is, if I can get in the street, you take off, and then you turn, and then you come back around, and then you're a beam of the tower, and then you come back around, and then you land, and then you touch and go, and you come up. And so, like I say, we were coming up, and he's warning us, we have incoming. I dipped the nose just a little bit to sight the plane coming in, and the instructor said, nah, he's way out there. And I'll tell you, so he says this, right? And I'm like, all right. Anyway, so I turn, because I'm turning to come back around from where I came. And as soon as I turned that plane around, boom, That plane was exactly our level, and I mean, we couldn't have come closer to a head-on collision in the air. And I said, man, and then the pilot says, yeah, let's get handy, because there's too many assholes in this area. And I'm thinking, yeah, I'm sitting next to him. Yeah, anyways. All right. Oh, hey, Anderson. Oh, man. Let's see. Anderson says he's had one of these planes. I got to read about this. I had one of those planes blow a chute, and it landed right next to my parents' place last year. Everybody survived. I definitely would buy one of those planes after seeing that. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. In fact, we can take a look at that. We'll actually watch one of these planes actually do a parachute landing. Let's watch a little more, Kevin, first, though.
At this stage, you're close enough.
Okay.
Anytime we talk about numbers, like percentages, we're like, it's ish, right?
Yeah.
So like 96-ish.
This is awesome.
Okay, we're at 4,500 now, so we're going to level off for a second.
Avionics is so unbelievable.
Yep, and pull the power back just a wee bit.
Power back about a 1/4 inch.
Yeah, that's good, perfect. We're just going to fly.
You can literally be in
higher than
fog and actually
4,600
have a
until we can get
beautiful
into the
picture of
airspace.
exactly
Okay, so I'm
what's
going
in
to
front
nose
of
down
you.
just a schmidgy.
Virtual, but
It's very
perfect.
sensitive.
Yeah. And if you feel like you're having to push your hand forward and hold it there, then that's when you use that trim. So hear my controls for a second?
Yeah, you're
Okay, so if I let go and the planes want to turn to the right, I will give it a little left trim, and then I'll let go, and then see now it's flying straight. We're still climbing a little bit, so I'm going to push it forward a little bit. And then if I have to hold it forward, then I'm going to push 1 or 2 clicks to trim nose down.
And okay, so click 1 or 2 forward. Got
Yep.
it. Okay, so now we're about -200.
That's perfect. Now maybe 1 click back.
I can really control it with trim now.
Yeah, you almost fly it with your thumb.
Okay.
But you really need to fly it and then use the trim to relieve the pressure. So let's kind of go over that way just a little bit where the lowest part of the mountain is.
I kind of like biasing up a little, but I want to stay at that 55
Yeah, I got you.
with all these rocks, man.
Yeah, it makes some people nervous, but we got the parachute, you got an experienced pilot next to you, so you're good.
Yeah. That is very cool. So that's the Hoover Dam?
That's Hoover Dam.
That's it? Why do I feel like it's supposed to be bigger?
I think when you're closer to it, not a few thousand feet above it. We're about 4,000 feet above the ground right now.
That's a good point. Okay. And do you want me to bank more?
Yeah, so just kind of like, you do sort of the steep turn like you did around it, so going to pass it.
Okay.
And then just turn around it. So when you're turning, your wing should be kind of pointing at it.
Okay, here we go.
There you go. Yeah, cool. Just like that.
Wow.
So just kind of keep it where you can see it right in front of your wing. If it starts to go behind your wing, turn steeper.
Ah.
So let's speed up here just a little bit. Watch Kevin land this thing. So if you just got here, it's just open chat tonight. Normally it'd all be real estate and investing, and if you don't have my book, Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate, be sure to get a copy of that. Be the best $10-20 you ever invest. And then if you want to, you can get in the mentorship. You can apply to get in the mentorship. A fantastic group. I got the most successful students guaranteed of anybody out there mentoring, and I urge you to compare. But we'll go back to what we're watching. And again, hit that like and subscribe, and let's keep watching this. And then we'll watch one of these parachutes planes actually deploy a chute. I don't know if this has retractable gear or not. I didn't really pay attention.
Well, McKay, how was Meet Kevin's
did it.
flying?
We survived. Meet Kevin's flights. Let's go.
Let's go. Well, I have to say that was absolutely incredible. That is a different feeling. Holy smokes. Amazing. That just changes your perspective of everything, including
totally relate.
checklists,
There's nothing
but also
like
just
flying.
the world and life. That is amazing. And it's got a parachute. Okay, Chris, how was it?
I don't know. I think you might be a natural pilot.
Oh, stop.
You said you've never done anything before, but yeah, you were flying perfect. Really nice.
Hey,
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's because of your training.
Well, thank you very much. So you ready to get going?
Heck yeah.
Full board?
This is so cool.
Right on.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Right to the plane. Plane to plane. awesome.
Oh, no, he's got his jet waiting
What a
for
cool
him.
world we live in. Dude, those parachute planes are sick.
What's that?
Went in one of those parachute planes.
Oh, you did?
Dude, have you ever seen someone deploy it?
See, I'd rather have my own plane to fly around more than being escorted in a jet. To be honest, there's so much fun in flying. But anyhow, this is a really good job, Kevin. Let's see what comments here. We got Ernie says, my glider tow rope snapped off from the tow plane during takeoff with my trainer. Wow. Too late to turn back, landed safely in the desert. Boulder City, Nevada. Yeah, it's a good place. You're going to have a problem out there in the desert. Robert, good to see you in here as well. Robert, be sure to email me. I want to put you in the class, dude. I got a deal you won't be able to refuse. But looking forward to hearing from you, Robert. Please, Tom at flipanythingusa.com when you get time. But so Anderson, I guess you're saying that the plane came down, but not that you. Wow. Yeah. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at the chutes deploying, and let me drag something over here, and we'll just take a look at a couple examples of how these planes work. So here's the Cirrus parachute right here.
The Cirrus parachute system is making pilots lazy. Cirrus pilots rely on this parachute in almost every emergency. They're not flying simulated engine failures. They're not practicing it. They're not really training anymore like we have for so many years in aviation. I would encourage you to continue training your dead engine glides, your emergency landing patterns, and everything that has to do with that engine failure. Because when you get lazy and complacent and think you have a parachute, there's going to be a day when you don't. And you're going to have to fly around like all the rest of us, running an actual...
That's funny. You see that V-tail on this thing? It wasn't a Cirrus, but I didn't know Cirrus had a V-tail. But these V-tails were real popular in the 60s and 70s when they come out, and they called them the doctor killer because doctors could afford them, but they weren't the best pilots, and a lot of doctors lost their lives with these things. Anderson wrote, yeah, random plane came down. Yeah, you did know it. I got you. Yeah, I do like the idea of having a parachute, but again, at the same time, you don't, probably not, the point of this guy, they're talking about pilots aren't as good because they don't have to be if they think they got the chute. I would hope that's not the case, but, it's not like you want to pull the chute on your airplane. It's going to be an expensive problem.
Day when you don't. And you're going to have to fly around like all the rest of us, running an actual engine failure to the runway or a field. Stop being so lazy.
Yeah, the Game Bird is another plane I thought was really interesting. It's an acrobatic plane, and that would be a lot of fun, right? I like a little bit of that stuff. We used to never flown an acrobatic airplane myself, but it looks like a blast. And if you play with the Sims and things, they're quite entertaining. But man, they glide like a rock. If you lose your power in a Game Bird, I mean, you got to point to the ground and keep your airspeed up because they stall really, really quick. Made in Minnesota, huh? Cirrus, is that right? Yeah, I want to look more at those too. I mean,
On November 25th, 2022, a pilot taking off from the Indianapolis airport found himself in a terrifying situation. Shortly after takeoff, alarms began to ring. The plane began to pitch up and lose engine power. With a full stall imminent, disaster was unavoidable. But this pilot was not flying any normal plane. He was flying a Cirrus SF-50. In a last-ditch effort, the pilot reached up and pulled a red handle above his head, launching a tiny solid rocket behind the fuselage, deploying a life-saving parachute, allowing the plane and pilot to slowly descend to the ground. This incident is only the latest of 140 deployments, which have collectively saved over 240 people since 2002. This tiny private jet has a unique V-tail design, allowing it to fly with a single tiny jet engine, ensuring the plane is light enough for a parachute.
Yeah, SR-22, that's exactly. I saw another plane that was landing, but it was coming down nose down. See, yeah, look at this one coming down nose down.
just a thing of beauty.
क्या पैराशूट एयरक्राफ्ट को बचा सकती है क्रैश लैंडिंग से? ये जो आप अभी क्लिप देख रहे हैं, हाल ही में इसे सीरस एयरक्राफ्ट कंपनी ने टेस्ट किया है.
See if there's a better demo. Wow. Definitely a lifesaver.
It's really close to our house, Dex.
Yep. I'm game for a parachute. I'm game for a parachute.
It's really
Yeah.
close to our house.
So Russ, oh yeah, you're working on. You may get a house,
Okay,
400,000 under market. Yeah. Yeah, you just got to be high enough you can deploy it. You know, of course. But it's a nice. It's nice. It would be a warm feeling, right, to know that. You know, I mean, you could be over water. There's a lot of bad places to be where a parachute still, get you on the ground safe. Oof. Anyways, what else? So look, if you just got here, man, 2025 is going to be a great year, like every year can be. You know, it doesn't matter the economy's up or down. I've made money in every year for 40-something years, and don't be afraid. Whenever there's a downturn, it just opens up other opportunities. When things are good, there's more money flowing, there's more people, there's more people in the game and investing and buying. And when things get slow or things, interest rates are high now, that slows things down a lot. There's just fewer people playing the game, but there's still plenty of money to be made. There's just, that's where you really need a mentor. That's where you really need a mentor. Okay, somebody that's been through downturns, many downturns over the last 40 years. It's a wonderful, there's just nothing like it. There's just nothing like it. So Russ wrote, yeah, for sure. Russ said parachute, of course, makes him feel better as well. His wife said that's the only plane she would fly in. Understand that. A buddy of mine is in Idaho, kind of near Boise, and he just moved there. He bought 80 acres, beautiful spread with a lake and everything else. And he met his neighbor. Well, his neighbor has a small aircraft that the guy built himself. And it looked cute little plane, and built it 30 years. He's been flying the thing ever since. And he took my friend up for a ride, just a little tiny plane, but and it's a whatever. It's a water boat. In other words, it lands in the water and taxis off. It might have wheels. Actually, I think it did have wheels. He could come in to the shore and then drop the gear and then taxi out of the water. Just ramp it up and pull on out with on wheels. Which I thought that was pretty cool. So it's retractable gear. I guess it looked like it looks like it actually landed on the belly of the boat, but it had gear you could extend out, and then you could, it was a little kit plane from 30 years ago, but it looked pretty interesting. So, anyways, so hey, like I say, just hanging out tonight. Just wanted to, wish everybody Happy New Year. I feel like really it's just going to be such a good year, especially beginning January 20th, and many of you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm really, really excited for the year, and I think we're going to, really good things. A lot of opportunities open up. We're going to slash the government waste and, get rid of all these ridiculous DEI bullshit, and a lot of good stuff coming. And I couldn't be happier for my own kids, right? This DEI stuff and all this stuff, just giant sludge, just making everything more expensive and stupid, and just terrible for people that are getting established as young adults, and that's something I don't take lightly. That's why I turn more people down that want to get in my class than I accept, and because if somebody's not ready, if they don't have money, if they don't have some money saved, I worry about their ability to do well, And, you know, there's a lot of people out there that all they care about is, do you have enough money to pay for a class or a course? They have no concern for the student. I'm not built that way. I don't have to. I made my money in real estate. So anyways, hey, thanks for hanging out, everybody. Russ and Anderson, really good to see you. Again, hope I see you Saturday sometime, soon, if possible. But no pressure ever. You know, a lot of good stuff. But you should pop in, because I'm sure you're watching the videos that get archived, because a lot of student success is just fantastic. And Anderson and Russ are both in the class. So, hey, thanks for hanging out, everybody. And those of you watching, be sure to get in a webinar this Thursday, 7 p.m. Don't miss out. And you'll learn a lot about real estate, but you gotta get your toe in the water at some point. But again, start with the book, and we'll see y'all later. You want to learn how to make millions of dollars in real estate? I've made tens of millions over my lifetime, and I'm showing people how to do it. Get in my free webinar. I have it every Thursday, 7 p.m. Central. Go to the link below, flippanythingusa.com/webinar. Sign up for it. You can talk to me face-to-face if you want. Don't waste any time. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. You don't want to miss my channel. I've been doing it for years.